Just hear my verse, cause yeah, they said it, but I said it first. So in a sense, I gave these niggas birth. That's why my fans in my show screaming, take me in the church. No suit and tie, but baby, I go to work. Don't do it for the money.
Hey y'all,
What's up?
welcome to H2 Swole. This week you just got me and Rick and Louie. Rod is not here. He is in the process of a wedding rehearsal.
Wow.
Tomorrow he will be married.
Louis, yes.
So congratulations, Rod.
Taking the big leap.
Good job. We do have the Iron Man here this week. If you guys are wondering about this guy, the Iron Man was made by David King. Thank you, David King, for our Iron Man. Pretty sweet.
What are these little things?
Those are bearings and washers.
Look at that.
And that's a washer. He made the whole thing.
So
It's pretty
cool. That is really neat.
But,
It's solid.
It is. It is.
That'll be our little mascot.
There we go. We got a mascot, David. Thanks.
Yep.
But we got a good show for you guys this week.
I wore my shirt.
Rick wore his shirt.
Fine, I didn't
And
forget this week.
I actually lied to you guys. I didn't. These are not on the website yet. I will get a picture uploaded this week, and where you guys can purchase these shirts if you would like one of these shirts. I kind of dropped the ball there. If anybody's
So
been
people
looking-
can get these shirts?
Yeah.
Where do you get them at?
I'll put a link in the description below,
They are good shirts.
and you guys can go online and order one of these shirts if you're interested in
I like it.
repping us, and especially if you're interested in coming to the training camp when we have it.
And next week we're gonna have a new sponsor that we're getting. We're gonna slowly get sponsors, and as we grow and the show grows, and we'll have the banner in the back. It's a surprise. I think you'll be surprised and see how this is growing,
Yeah,
and
you
the
guys
people
are
that want to be
definitely-
affiliated with us.
Yeah, you guys definitely want to tune in next
H2
week.
Swole.
I mean, this is just the beginning.
Maybe we can get him to put shirts in there. I know he would. That'd be
Maybe.
cool. So we'll
Maybe.
see. You get to watch us morph and grow.
That's true.
So, and we're thinking positive, and we're
Yep. Always think positive.
everything we're doing, we're drawing towards us the good things, and the doors open, and the people that want to be affiliated with us, and people like themselves, birds of a feather. So you'll see the people that we are attracting, and they are attracting to us, and you'll see us be able to grow.
Yep. For our 4 to 5
Talking
loyal
the talk, walking the walk,
followers out
talking
there.
the talk. Yeah.
Yep. That's just yeah. I mean, for you guys that are watching us right now, you're in the ground floor of it, and it's nothing but good things from
Yes.
here. You know what Joseph Campbell says. You know, follow your bliss, and doors will open to opportunities that you never knew existed.
Yes.
You know, we are giving away a free pair of Charismatic wrist wraps. All you have to do is comment, like, subscribe. We're going to run this contest for 2 weeks. It's if you've never used wrist wraps, you know, then you're not lifting heavy enough. So,
And anybody that watches this video, share it.
oh yeah,
Okay, and
Yeah,
ask
share
them
it.
to share. So
Share
we want
the
to start
video.
trying to get it out there as much as we can.
yeah, definitely, guys. We got like 5 questions this week, and I guess we're just going to jump right into it.
I'll be in charge of the questions.
It's kind of weird without Rod here because we're used to
I
his
know,
comic
he's-
relief.
Exactly. He kind of looks at both of us
Yeah.
like this. He's
He's-
real low key, and the question is. So, all right. Well, is this from Greg?
Greg FD19. Might be
Says-
like a firefighter.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
it stands for like fire department.
Fire
maybe.
department.
If you are a firefighter, thank you for your service.
Yes.
If you're
Yes.
not, then you might be pretty cool anyway. We don't
Yes.
know.
All right. Greg says, I know that most people want 6-packs, but I just want to get strong. What type of program can I start with? Let's see, I know that most people want 6-packs, blah blah blah, but I just want to get strong. What type of program can I start with?
So he's going for strength.
Yeah.
Well, basic.
Is he? Are you in the gym? I wonder if he's in the gym. You know, I wonder if it's.
If you're already in the gym, You know, we still don't like know the complete goal you
Yeah,
have.
that's a kind of a loaded question.
That sounds like kind of like, I mean, if you don't know anything about lifting and you haven't got into lifting, like a 5x5 would be a good thing to start with if you're just in there for strength.
Yeah.
There's a
Less reps, more,
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
reps, more weight.
basically, I mean, you're gonna want to. My old high school coach used to say, you know, eat extra meat and taters and lift heavy. If you're going for strength though, like Rick said, you're gonna want lower reps because you're wanting to go as heavy as you can go. And by going as heavy as you can go, if you can get more than 10 reps, that's, you know, you need to
8
up
to
the
10.
weight, up the weight. And you need to have long rest periods in between your sets so you can get your energy back. I mean, this is if you're just going for strength. And honestly, you can eat about anything you want, but you should eat, you know, you should follow a macro diet. It will help. Like people say, you know, powerlifters eat whatever they want. It does make a difference what you eat.
Yes.
Like you can eat a
Means
lot,
everything.
but you should be eating a lot of certain things. You still should look at your macros and look what you're taking in, I think. I know a lot of people see power lifters and they think, oh, those guys get to eat honey buns and chips. Not necessarily, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking in a lot of calories, but
it's
they're doing
good.
it on
Yeah.
purpose, certain
Yes.
types of calories that they're wanting to get the energy you need to get strong.
Yeah.
But
I would do probably 5 to 6 sets of 8 to 10, as much as you can do. I mean, I don't know how you're training now, but yeah, that's what I would do. 5 to 6 sets of 8 to 10. I mean,
yeah.
you know, unless you're like specifically powerlifting for a contest and
Yeah.
and that one rep, you know,
Yeah,
thing, then you'd be like 4 and then do 6 and 8 and 10.
Yeah.
But just as a general
Just-
rule of thumb, would you
yeah.
say, you know, 8
That's-
to 10?
That's what I would say. Eight,
Right.
8 to
4 to
10.
5
And
sets.
you need to concentrate on compound movements.
Yes.
You'll see a lot of guys in the gym working on side work. You're not necessarily concerned with that if you're in there just for, you know, strength.
Yes.
You want to do compound lifts.
Flat bench,
Yeah.
flat bench, incline, decline.
You know,
I wouldn't do any dumbbells, you know, flat bench, decline, incline.
military press,
Yeah.
squats, deadlifts.
For your shoulders,
Right.
yeah.
Well,
Military
that's
press.
what you want. Those big movements. Don't waste your time with, you know, that's like, those are the meat and taters.
Yes.
Don't waste your time with, you know, corn and stuff if that's not what you're interested in, you know.
Yeah.
But that's I guess that's about all we got on that.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Hope we helped.
All right. Sarah. This is Sarah. I am currently dieting for summer. How often should I weigh myself? That's a good question.
That is a real good question.
My personal preference is you once a week if you got to, but really for me, like I wouldn't weigh yourself really at all. I mean, unless you have a goal weight. I believe in, you know, how your clothes are fitting and how you're measuring with your tape and stuff, because if you're training,
Yeah.
you know, you can recomposition your body from fat to muscle, and muscle weighs more than fat. So don't get so caught up in the scale.
Yeah.
Go by the way clothes are fitting and doing your tape measurements and stuff like that, because you know, you can have someone that's, you know, 130, it's different than 100 that's lean versus someone that's 130 with a lot of fat on them. So don't get so caught up in the weight thing.
No.
People do that all the time, and then they weigh themselves every day, and it's like, you know, especially a girl, they can fluctuate so much, you know,
Oh yeah.
3, 4, 5 pounds a week. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. And like honestly, like you can weigh yourself at 7 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock in the evening,
Yeah.
two completely different weights.
Exactly.
So, you know, if you're somebody concerned with weight and you're trying to hit a weight goal like for one of these Biggest Loser contests
Yes.
or something, you need to weigh yourself at the exact same time every week.
Yes.
You weigh yourself
One day.
has to be like a Monday at 8 a.m.
Right.
And that same, you know, it makes a difference. That gives you kind of an idea of actually where you're at, you know, because your weight's going to fluctuate. And like Rick said, you know, day to day, that'll drive you crazy. You'll get on the scale, you'll be like, oh man, I lost 4 pounds. You get on the scale next morning, oh my gosh, I gained
2,
another
and you
bit
get
back,
discouraged. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just not a way to do it. And like Rick said, if it's about body composition, you'll notice it where you want your clothes to fit tighter and you want your clothes to fit looser. You'll start noticing that the places where you want them to fit tighter or looser,
Waist going down a little bit,
go
maybe
that
your
way.
thighs, when you pull your jeans on or whatever, or
Yeah.
your butt feel isn't so snug, whatever. You'll be able to feel it.
But definitely not more than once a week. It's just
Yeah, I
going to
agree.
frustrate you.
Yeah, and in the morning time,
Yeah.
like Charlie said. So, because I can gain, when I'm gaining weight and stuff, I can fluctuate probably 10 pounds in a day,
Oh, I'd say so.
right? From the morning to nighttime.
Especially like when you, like after a show, if you
Oh,
go
yeah.
completely off carbs.
Oh yeah, well the last time I did the show, I weighed in at I weighed 176 and a fourth, and in 10 days I was 230 pounds.
Yep.
I gained 50 pounds in 9 days.
Yep.
I went in the hospital, but
A lot of these fighters, a lot of the fighters do that too. Like they'll weigh in for the fight, and then within a week they've gained all kinds of weight.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were just cutting down to weigh in for the fight.
my eyes are all swollen, my fingers, I couldn't. You should have seen it. It was
gosh.
pitiful. But anyways, all right.
I guess that's it. Hope we helped.
Yeah. All right. Next one is. This is from Brandon.
Brandon, what's up, Brandon?
What's up, B? This is from Brandon. I am taking strength and conditioning at school. But I don't think I'm getting much out of the class. What are some good sources you use or have used?
That's a real good question. I could see where you're coming from. If you're playing football or soccer or something, they probably force you to take strength and conditioning nowadays. And that's basically what that's for. Like, they're not really, like, I know my son, he takes strength and conditioning when he does. Like, they're not teaching him anything. They come in there and they say, do this, this, and this. So, if you're wanting to actually learn a little bit about what you're doing, you're probably not going to get it in strength and conditioning. I mean, it's a good class to take, and it's going to help you get in some good shape. That's what it's for. But they're not there to teach you the anatomy and the breakdown of things. Honestly, the best place you can go to is probably Arnold's
Yes.
Modern Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding.
That's the best one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it breaks down. It
Everything.
literally is an encyclopedia of bodybuilding. It tells everything. Mark Ripito has got an awesome book called Starting Strength. That's a great book. One of my favorite books is Engineering the Alpha. It's by that guy Romanello was his last name, and Adam Bernstein. They both wrote for Men's Health and Men's Fitness and stuff, and that's a really good book. It's called Engineering the Alpha. Those are probably my 3 go-to books. I'm sure Rick might have some more for you. Yeah.
The Arnold one for me, really.
Yeah.
And, another, stay up on the muscle and fitness stuff, and
Yeah.
that'll keep, there's always new stuff coming out, and, science is just, there's all kinds of crazy stuff coming out, so your muscle and fitness, your
It's crazy.
your Iron Man, to keep up on the latest trends and stuff like that, that's a good idea too.
And you're going to learn something new all the time. There's always something else that, and something that you thought you knew
Yeah.
for fact, you'll find out, maybe it might work a different way.
Mhm.
And that's a big thing as you're getting into it and learning. Remember, there's no one way. There's
Correct.
no one way to get there. There is a ton of multiple paths to take,
Yeah,
and everybody can take those different paths and get to the same point.
exactly.
Depending on who you are and how your body's made up, it's all part of it. That's the thing about the Arnold Encyclopedia. I mean, it breaks down your body type and everything. I mean, it tells you pretty much everything you need to know
Yeah.
from front to back.
There's all kinds of different ways. I mean, heck, if you ask everybody to walk past the Leaning Tower of Pisa and write a paragraph about it,
Yeah.
I bet not a single one would be the same.
Mm.
But I bet we'd all know, reading all of them, that there was a leaning building,
Yeah.
right? It's
Definitely.
just like that many different ways to
Yeah.
enlightenment. There's different perspectives even on training and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
everybody has their own gig, you know. So,
Definitely.
But all right, next one. All right. This is from Alex. So this is from Alex. Do you think training masks really work? Well, do you know the concept behind this? What is that guy?
Think about him?
Well, what's the guy that always reminds me? Is it Batman?
Bane.
Is it Batman?
Bane.
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
That's what I always think of. Training masks, they work. Training masks, you know, really what's happening is it's when you put a training mask on, you're cutting it's harder to breathe. It's making you harder to breathe. And what happens when your body isn't getting enough oxygen and it's trying to huff and puff, your body creates, it's just, you know, it's the training masks are trying to emulate and copy high altitude training. So what happens is when you go, you know, to the high altitude trainings where you have the mask on, it's making you it's harder to breathe. So your body starts making more white blood cells to try to absorb less oxygen that's coming in. So after a while, your body now, after you wear the mask for a while, have more red blood cells. So when you're not wearing the mask, you have more red blood cells which absorb more oxygen. So when you're doing the sports, your body has instead of having a normal amount of oxygen with normal red blood cells, now you have this increase in red blood cells. So your body absorbs more oxygen and gives you have more stamina. You know, from having the oxygen, you can train longer and all, you know, and all this versus someone that doesn't do that and has less blood cells. So theoretically, it gives you the edge, and it does, I believe, because you know when you train high altitude, you know, you come down from living there for a month and training, your body's like has all these red blood cells, and it comes down to normal. I mean, that does give you an advantage.
It does, and the thing.
It look weird.
Yeah, you look funny, and we're probably gonna laugh at you, but when you're in the military, a lot of times they'll make you put the gas mask on and run an obstacle course with the gas mask on. Same theory. You know, you're sucking wind, you're building up, you know, your lungs, you know, your everything, you know, making it somebody with like, you know, COPD or something, like somebody like that could like benefit from these masks because it would help them get used to slowly make it stronger, you know. But it's like Rick said, it's designed. It's like these athletes that sleep in these oxygen chambers and stuff. Like it's supposed to give them an advantage, an edge. And you know, if you're used to running with your air restricted, once you take the mask off, of course you're going to have an advantage.
Yeah, and like you said, you do it a while. You know, Charlie said, you know, not only does you get the red blood cell thing going on, but it does. Your lungs are getting
they're stronger.
Stronger from pulling that air in.
Yeah, because
a limited amount.
You know, even if people like, you know, there'll be some controversy. People say, well, you know, you don't have the atmospheric pressure. You're just restricting your air. Well, even if you're just restricting your air, you're still building up. You know, I mean, it's common sense. You know, you get used to doing these exercises with hardly any oxygen you're taking in, then you know, naturally you take the mask off, you're going to be better and quicker and faster, you know. But yeah, I think they help. You know, like I said, they are kind of funny looking, but you see a lot of people wearing them now. They're getting more popular.
Yeah, they are.
And I don't know how pricey they are. I've never checked on the prices of them, but I assume they can't be real expensive because a lot of people have them.
Yeah.
You know, but
yeah.
That's about all my knowledge on that. I don't know much about them.
Yeah, they're kind of coming in now.
Yeah, it's a new thing that I haven't really got into. I've heard like Ben Greenfield talk about them and stuff, but I've never wore one, or you know, I have ran in a Pro Mask gas mask, but I'm sure that's a lot more air restriction than you really want.
Sure. Yes. Well, I think that's it for the questions.
Is that it for the
Just
questions?
read- Yeah. I'm trying to think how. Let's see. Let's trying to think what we could end the show with. I'm trying to think. Do you have anything you want to say?
Tell you what, let's see. We're gonna try to end with something positive every week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see here.
Okay, I got one.
You got one?
All right. So, we're going to talk about law of attraction. So each week we'll try to give you a little tidbit of information, so your little law of attraction tool belt, you can put another tool in there to use. So, your subconscious, we're going to talk about the subconscious. Your subconscious works. You have your consciousness during the day. That's 12. We'll just make it 12 hours and 12 hours. You have your consciousness, and then you have your subconscious. So you put those together. You got your subconscious when you're awake. So you want to try to watch your thoughts, keep them positive. We can get into that later. And then at nighttime for the other 12 hours, what sets your subconscious? Because your subconscious, law of attraction, you're monitoring your thoughts during the daytime to be positive as much as they can. And then at nighttime, you got a whole 12 hours where you're not consciously feeding the subconscious because you're asleep. So what do you do? How can you get your subconscious to work for you? So in the daytime, your consciousness is working for you and you're aware of it. And then at nighttime, you have your subconscious backing that up and working for you. And now when you're awake, you're aware of your thoughts and attracting and you're keeping things positive, so you're attracting more positive into your life. Or if it's negative, you're attracting negative. Remember how that works. And then at nighttime, how do we set ourselves up for success for our subconscious to work at nighttime? So it's like bam, bam. Then you're leveraging yourself to set yourself up for success as far as law of attraction is going. So at nighttime, people get in a habit of when they go to sleep, it's like they're thinking what you want to do is you want to prime your subconscious to work for you while you're sleeping. And how do you do that? Well, most people before they go to bed, they're thinking, oh, my day sucked, this happened, oh, I'm worried about this, or oh, this is going to happen, or what am I going to do here? Maybe some good thoughts in there, I had a good day with this, but you kind of, at nighttime, you kind of condition yourself, most people kind of, your day, this didn't happen, or I'm hoping this, or, I need more money, or I had a crappy day at school, whatever. So that is setting your subconscious up to work through the night with these negative thoughts. So now in the daytime, all this stuff happens, but right before you go to bed, you're thinking negative stuff. So when you're asleep, you have just conditioned your subconscious to draw more negative things to you. So when you go to bed at nighttime, right before you go to sleep, right when you're kind of starting to drift off, and that where it starts getting a little, you're going to go to sleep and you're kind of awake or you're not, that's when the last 5 minutes of your day, you need to be thankful for the things in the next day. So when you go to sleep, your last thoughts, you are giving thanks to the next day and all what you're expecting by speaking it into existence and speaking positive affirmations. You have now primed yourself for your subconscious to work 12 hours in a good, positive way to draw positive, good things in the next day. So before you go to bed, the last 5 minutes before you drift off, you need to be, hey, thank you for my day tomorrow. Thank you for me having a great day. Thank you for my health tomorrow, divine health. Thank you for divine wealth. Thank you for the right doors opening for me tomorrow that I need to open. Thank you for the right people to come in my life tomorrow that need to come on in my life. Thank you for my child having a great day at school tomorrow. Thank you for all the things that you want to be thankful for. And then when you go to sleep, now you're asleep, but your subconscious is now attracting things for the next day to be thankful for. And I think that's really, really important. And you'll notice, will notice, if you start doing that, I promise you, you do that for 30 days, and I promise you, your life will be a lot different, or you will be able to reflect back in that month and see a turn for the better.
Oh, yeah.
I promise.
See, me and Rick, we like,
Charlie?
I do the same thing, but me and Rick do a little bit differently. Every night before I go to bed, I have a journal that lays on the nightstand. And I write down pretty much what Rick was saying. I usually sit down and I try to write about something that happened today that I was thankful for. And then, the last thing I write on the piece of paper will be, something that maybe I want to work on tomorrow. Like a goal that I might have for tomorrow. And I do that, it's just a little leather journal laying beside the nightstand. My brother actually made it for me. It's pretty cool. It's like a Captain America.
That's awesome.
Anyways, but that's what I do every night, and it's basically just like Rick said. Like, people don't realize that they did like a study, and like 70, 80 years ago, you took in like the amount of negativity that enters our lives today with the media, social media, all the stuff on this phone. It amounts to the amount of negativity people used to go through in a year. And that's a fact. And we wonder why depression and suicide rates are up. Think about that. About 80 years ago, they seen all the negativity we see throughout the day.
Yes.
Stretch out across a year. So of course it is, And it's crazy because you think about back then, they had to worry about, where they're getting food and this and that. We get stressed out from watching TV nowadays.
You think about it, TV,
it's nuts.
terror, terrorists,
Yep.
bombings, blah, blah. After a while, your mind is saturated with all that crap, and so you're thinking about it.
Yep.
So what happens in your life? You get crappy returns. You get crappy things happen to you because your mind is watching that stuff. So a good way for people to understand more of law of attraction and what you are attracting and be aware. You're like a magnet, and keeping that magnet in the way that's good for you is how you feel.
Yeah.
So during the daytime, and you're like, wow, I wonder what I'm attracting in my life, because law of attraction is always working.
Oh, yeah.
Always, it never stops. It's a law and it's real. How do I feel? That's a good precursor to what is being delivered from law of attraction. Do I feel good right now? If I don't, what do I have to do to feel good? Am I sad? What do I have to do to be sad? Once you start realizing how law of attraction works, if you're sad or you're having a crappy day, and sometimes, it happens all the time. That's why you constantly have to keep yourself in check. If you're sad, okay, thank God things don't manifest instantly, and we get a little bit of a leeway before things start kind of happening and things start kind of coming our way. So if you're sad, try to know that you're going to be attracting. If you stay in that condition, that you're going to be attracting more things to be sad for. If you're depressed, know that eventually you're going to start manifesting things to be more depressed about. So
whatever you're feeding is getting stronger.
So try to get in the habit of just at first knowing how you feel. If it's not positive, and everything's not all positive all the time.
Yeah, life ain't gonna be that.
And when the life hits you, just start to try to keep those times that you're feeling blah more to a minimum. And if you do that, you will notice that there's more things happening in your life, more doors open, things happening, and you're getting more of a positive outcome because you have chosen by your choice to keep the negative things and the sad things and the depressing things to a minimum, because you realize that law of attraction is real, and it's up to you to keep your mind right. Your mind is the battlefield, right? Like I said, you got to own the battlefield, own your thoughts. Okay, so when you're off balance, just try to keep yourself, bring it back to the balance as quick as you can, right?
Yeah, it's you know, basically the same thing as, you know, we cannot control circumstances of the world, but we can always control how we treat the circumstances
How we handle it.
ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll have a lot more on this stuff next week, and as the shows go on.
This is Charlie's nice way of going, because you guys are starting to see a pattern with it. He's like, all right, Rick, all right, good job, all right, we'll see you next week. No, because you know what I do? I get going and I have these thoughts, man. I'm trying to put them into words, and I'll get better at it as I go.
And what's good about that is, like, you know, we don't script anything, guys.
No.
What you're seeing
It's raw dog.
is what you get, and this just, you know, this is what we're passionate about. This is how we feel about things, and once Rick gets going, he's on a train and can't get stopped. But we're glad you guys decided to spend some time with us this
Yes.
week. Hope to see you again next week. Hope we were helpful.
Yes.
And you guys get out there and move.
See ya.